One thing that I would like to show you now is how to put a background behind the walking angel, and in doing so creating another layer. So I'll go into Finder, and I've already got one right here. It's called Cloud, and I'll just drag it into the bin, and we have it right here. Now what we just have to do is drag it down into the layers bin, and you want to put it under the angel, and the order of how you will view things in the viewer here is depending on how you stack them. And the thing on top, the file on top, is the one that will be on top within the image viewer. So we'll just drag it in there, and you can see it right there. Now, it may not be exactly the size that you want, so you could go down into Transform and work with the scale. And it's pretty close, and we'll call that the scale. Now you'll see that the wings are a little bit transparent right here, and if we didn't want that, we would have to actually go back into the color keying and work that out, but I don't mind them being a little bit transparent. Okay, we can close this, and it's just simply that easy. And now if you actually would play this, that background will be consistent. Now you can also put a movie in the background. It doesn't have to be a still image. You could put anything you want in the background. You could just put a flat color. If you're going to green screen, you could put just a bright green in the background. Now just to show you what would happen if we stack these differently, you see you would just have the actual clouds on top and you wouldn't see the angel. So that's not what we want. And that's very important when you're working with multiple images. Okay, now you can see what it looks like. And I will now export this as a movie. I'm now going to show you how to do animation with multiple parts, using in fact the same figure but cut up into several parts. First we have to make a new composition, and again make sure that we have nice high resolution, and we'll call it Angel Body Parts. So now we'll open that one, and that's what will appear down here. Now we need to import multiple files. So I've already made these body parts here. You can kind of see them as we go down. And I'm going to import them all except for the angel. We don't need that. And I'm going to make a folder here just to put them in to make it more manageable. And then we can put these parts into that folder. There you have them. So now we need to put all of these parts into the layers bin down here. And I'm going to start with the torso, and then I'm going to put some of the parts above and some of the parts below. There you have your torso. And we'll probably want to make it larger or smaller at some point. They don't always load at the same size. And then the ones that obviously go on top would be the wings. And you could place it just on top there, and the other wing just on top there. And then we'll put the head actually just below. And then we will put the upper legs. So we'll put the upper right leg and the upper left leg. Then the lower right leg. And the lower left leg. Now what we want to do is just separate them on this page here so you can kind of see them all. That's one of the legs there. So we'll start actually with the angel wings. We'll move that one. Maybe move that out of the way. Now you also want to attach each part to its parent. And the parent is actually the one that will move if you move it. And we're going to make the torso the parent. So the right wing, we'll start up at the top here. The right wing, the parent will be the torso. The torso. Then we go to the head. That's also the torso. And the upper legs also are attached to the torso. But the lower legs actually attach to the upper part of the same leg. So the lower right leg will attach to the upper right leg, and the lower left leg, of course, to the upper left leg. There you go. So now everything's attached. Now what you want to do is actually color key each of these so that we get rid of the white background. And I'll just do one, and then I'll do them all much quicker. So again, we go to the color range, and you can just drop it onto the object itself. And again, this panel shows up with the eyedroppers, and you just drop the eyedropper onto it. And you just keep dragging it onto the other ones. There, now they're all discrete entities, and we will put this body together. So again, we need the pointer tool. And because everything is actually the child, or let's say the torso is the parent of everything, when you move the torso, everything moves. So now you just have to simply highlight each one individually. Now you see this is a child of that, so it's going to move at the same time. So what we need to do then is to highlight that one. There, now we have all of our body parts put together in the angel. And now you'll be able to move these all quite individually. And so you don't get as much distortion in the body, but you're always going to see these seams here. So the one thing that you have to do now is actually put in the push pins that make called actually the puppet pin tool, the puppet pins. So, and for the wings, you'd only need two because you're going to have them pivot. So again, you can put them on the outside or up there. That'd be one. Now, we'll start with the right wing. There we go. You can see the dot and then one right there. And down here in this panel, this will open up and you can just close them again. It just happens automatically. You don't really need any on the torso, but in case you want to sort of distort it in some way, you can do that. There, now you actually have these pinpoints, they're like joints or pivots, on all of the body parts. Now you have to highlight each body part when you want to activate the pin tool for moving them. So this is our start here, and just to make a keyframe, we can we'll start with the wings, and perhaps now sometimes if you don't see the little yellow dots here, you just have to click beside it with the pin tool activated. And remember that when you're actually touching the little yellow dot there, which is your key point, the pointer tool like this will come up. And so you can move it, you can distort it a little bit. And you always have to click in the layer bin here. You have to click on that particular layer to activate it. We don't particularly want to do anything with the torso, but you might want to move the hip a little bit, widen it. And the head we could tilt to one side a little bit. Probably a good idea to get rid of two of those points there. That way you can just tilt the head much easier. But the more points in there you have, the more you can distort it. And then we'll work a little bit with the legs. And I'm just going to show you one round. We just want to bring that one out a bit. And it's good to kind of work with a certain order as you do this. So sometimes you can reverse it each time. There we go. Now we're just going to move this ahead 2 seconds, and I'll have everything move once, and that will give you an idea of how this works. So now I'm going to reverse it. I'm going to start with the lower left leg and just move that a bit. And the upper left leg. You can always readjust the positioning. And I think we'll just leave the torso as is. Oh, that's one activated. And if we open each one of these, you can actually see all the key points inserted right there. So we're just going to do the one.